The news tonight. City of Windhoek secures 155 million Namibia dollar loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Welcome to this Thursday evening's edition of News on One. I'm Isai Sipunga. Here are the headlines. Kavihoha calls for new leadership in education. Moses Gareb community welcomes new councillor. A Himba man travels the world to perform traditional dance. 12 community gardens benefit from MTC We Race Together initiative, and Business on One, Comments Corner, sports and the weather. First up, the Trade Union Congress of Namibia Secretary General Mahongra Kavihoha stated that the Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate, Ordinary and Advanced Subsidiary poor results are an indication that the current education top management is failing the system. Kavihoha said they lack leadership qualities to render adequate support and guidance to educators. This is after only 8,133 pupils, or 24%, qualified for tertiary education from the 38,019 candidates who sat for the 2022 national examinations.
Kavihoha stated that the only viable solution to fix the current challenges in the education system is for the top management to adapt to new approaches in dealing with education matters. Kavihoha shared his sentiments after the top leadership in the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture submitted a report to the head of state, President Hage Geingob, recently.
If a president was serious in terms of wanting to bring change, that meeting with the top management, yes, he should have called the other role players as well to hear our side. But if he thinks that he will get one-sided information, will bring change, then I think that was just a talk show. And it's just a windscreen kind of things. We're not serious. That shows that the president is not even serious. Because if you are serious, you should have talked to the teachers. Why? You talk to the management. Why? You talk to the learners. It's an organization. Why? You talk to the parents. Civil society organization around. Why? But if you are just calling the one that you appointed to come and talk to you why things are getting wrong, while everybody knows that they are the one who's making things wrong, what do you expect? So the bottom line is that the leadership need to change. Whether it's a self-change while they are there, or those that can be removed can be removed.
Kavihoha claimed that the revised curriculum did not improve the desired results as initially expected by stakeholders.
If we go and argue with the curriculum itself, there is problems because of the qualities of those that have to proceed to areas, being minimum of Cs, 3 Cs, the rest are not, and plus the preparation, and plus even the content alignment to time allocated. When we get independence, we wanted to change everything, which way we shoot ourselves in the foot. Now the resolution was, can we reintroduce back the 2 stream? The only issue have brought that stream, that's all. The bottom line is very clear, is that if we get a serious Minister of Education tomorrow, he will get away with his nonsense.
No, it's not the current leadership, because imagine that from 2011, that was Dr. Yambo who was still there, and the different, EDs or permanent secretaries and directors. Some have retired. Now we are with the third minister. So it's a process. People came on board. You cannot point a finger on an ED who just started last year, or maybe the third minister, or the new director of something else. So this is the process which is run by a team of people, not one person.
It's back to school, back to early mornings, back to routine, back to homework, uniforms and school lunches. So, we've got specials to get you back to school with a smile. Like 500 gram Spar cornflakes for only $26.99 and 400 gram Parmalat or Melrose cheese slices for just $44.99. Plus, we're giving away extra smiles with cash bursaries worth $10,000. Only at Spar.
Residents of the Moses Gareb constituency welcomed their newly elected councillor Ndengu Stephanus on his first day in office with words of encouragement. Stephanus took office after winning the constituency by-elections on 6 January.
Stephanus, the newly elected Moses Gareb constituency councillor Aili Venonya, who passed away in October last year. Residents pledged Ndengu their support by providing guidance and advice.
Ndara kudimbruka wasiwana Moses Gareb bakuja ombere waike ifia kansela siwana Ndengu mpia wetu ashikina tuningo mpia tumpake konjo kwa mama yo makia ngasonfimane kwa Yesu shavalelwa konsiakana.
From our side we are just happy for you, so we will work with you very closely and we appreciate you for being there.
Moses Gareb Constituency Development Committee member Tobias Ishmael told News on One that they are facing challenges of housing, land demarcation, sanitation and affordable water. However, Ishmael noted that they are making strides to ensure that development takes place in the constituency.
Moses Gareb faced a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to housing, sanitation, affordable water, especially with the land demarcation. The process has been slow, but however, as a district, as a constituency, we are making strides in ensuring that this development. But over the years, we have faced those challenges because as a constituency in Namibia, constituencies are not allocated the budget, so that hampers the work of development in constituencies. And Moses Gareb is no different because we're also a constituency, but we face many challenges. Of recent, under the Commerce Regional Council, Moses Gareb received a budget of $1 million to expand the Hakahana Clinic. So those are some of the notable developments that we as a constituency through the capital project of the Commerce Regional Council benefited.
The community members requested for the reopening of the Hakahana Community Hall, which has been closed for a year and has left the residents with no venue for important community meetings and events.
We really want the Hakahana Community Hall to be open because it has now been closed up for a year and we have no way to gather. We don't do church there anymore. We don't do the wedding anymore. So all what I want is that, please, Councillor, be there for us, speak for the nation. We want Hakahana Community Hall to be open. Actually, we love this hall since 2020. and it's now going to 2 years without using a hall. It's just they've been closed up. So all what we want is that the hall to be opened. As for the community, Hakana Community Hall, please be opened.
Stephanus's new role adds to his portfolio of having served in various leadership roles, such as heading SWAPO party branches and Deputy Secretary of the Constituency Development Committee for 5 years. He also held the position of Chairperson of the Mine Workers Union in the Central Region.
A 36-year-old Himba man who dropped out of school in grade 10 to become a dancer has been to various countries across the world showing off his traditional dance and music. Vetunyona Warishe, also known as West, believes in the power of preserving culture through different cultural activities.
On the outer skirts of Havana in Windhoek lives Vetunyona Warishe, a Himba who dropped out of school in grade 10 to pursue his dream of preserving culture through dance and music. Through invites, Warishe has performed in Cameroon, Netherlands, Germany and South Africa. Warishe stated that he wants people to realize that there's more to African culture than their famous exotic images. He urged young people to preserve their cultures and discourage them from imitating the modern way of living instead.
Himba culture is a culture that some people consider as a nude or naked culture. I will give you an example, just one little example that Bulletin have applied for the Qatar World Cup and they were almost taken, but they were being refused because the Qatar community consider Himba as they are naked because of their breast. But that is not naked. We don't consider breast as naked. We don't consider being chestless as naked. This is our culture. And culture is everything. For example, if you go on under this nude website, you find Himbas there. You find other African cultures like Zulus and Swaziland people there. But this is not who we are. We are the culture, we are the tradition of our ancestors. And we need to carry it like that. The most important motivation is that please don't give up on your talent. Don't give up on your cultures. Don't just be influenced by those that are talking bad about their cultures, because you can't run away from culture, especially when you have your surname and name in the place where you come from, and even where you know that your parents or your ancestors were buried too. So culture is stuck with you.
When asked what he would be if he was not a dancer, he responded that he would be a sangoma, known as a traditional healer, which he described as the most colorful person.
People also in the community were thinking that, no, if this one, because they didn't know about cultural dance. Because we all know that only when you are old, or when you're old enough that you can be a traditional dancer, but not from the young age. They used to say, no, maybe this kid is going to be a sangoma. And I was also inspired by that. That's why I wanted also to become a sangoma. So, and through, I knew that if I can't be a dancer, I can be a sangoma. Because of the decor they have, because of everything they have, and because of the interpretation of every herbs they have. So then from there, when my grandmother passed away in 1998, then I keep this one for her.
Warishe also owns a dancing center in Havana, which he wishes to expand to accommodate more young people who want to learn the foundation of dancing.
More male clients actually getting the manicures and pedicures and facials done.
There were times where there was pressure.
I sometimes feel like I'm getting paid for doing nothing because I love what I do so much.
Not everybody's going to do it through the schooling system.
The Hambili Haufiku Secondary School in the Ohangwena region stated they will expand their school garden after receiving gardening tools worth 70,000 Namibian dollars from the MTC We Raise Together project today in Windhoek. The secondary school is among 12 community gardens that received a combined amount of 700,000 Namibian dollars with the aim of improving food security and the livelihoods of their community.
Following last year's MTC We Raise Together event, the mobile telecommunications company raised 1.4 million, which was targeted at empowering the Namibian youth. Today, MTC announced the beneficiaries comprising of TVET graduates and community gardens. The Haimbili Haufiku Secondary School, situated in Enana in the Ohangwena region, started a tomato garden in 2022. The history teacher who is in charge of the garden made the following remarks at the handover event.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for my school anyway. This is wonderful. It's very wonderful, and it's really going to help a lot. It's really going to make a difference to our school. It's really going to benefit us a lot. We will try our best to make sure that we extend the project, and we have to make sure that the garden is very effective and is very productive, and it's going to help boost up the school development fund. Most of the secondary schools, they have a large land that is not used, and it's happening at our school at Haimbili, a large land, and the government is spending more money to buy food for the learners in the hostel. So it's higher times the government should awaken up and then start realizing making agriculture a very serious thing, so that at least secondary school may able to produce some of the food for themselves, and then at least the government can only help where specific secondary schools can really struggling.
The chairperson of the Beneficiary Screening and Selection Committee, Tapewoshali Shapwanale, explained that the project's 25 sponsors base selection criteria on whether or not these community gardens benefit the community at large and if it contributes to the country's overall food security. Shapwanale is also the Communications Director and Stakeholder Relations Officer of Reconnaissance Energy Africa Limited, which is one of the sponsors of We Raise Together.
Again, what we were looking at is, does it benefit not just the individual but the community, and how sustainable it is, and does it speak to food security? It's not just to support the people with lucerne, to just support the people with seedlings, but really to say that what is it that you need for this garden to work. Hence, we arrived at 12 gardens throughout the entire country. So this is from the Zambezi region all the way down south to Karas region.
The Corporate Communications Officer of MTC, Fikameni Matias, stated that the initiative received over 700 applications between May 2022 until November 2022. Matias thanked the sponsors who made the event possible.
It wasn't an easy one. I think similar with the TVET graduates, you see the potential, and I think John rightfully said it, that we really thank the sponsors that came on board, because it is because of your contribution that we're assisting this young ladies and gentlemen here today. So thank you very much, Janine, again for that highlight.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni. Poor leadership and maladministration at the City of Windhoek's managerial level was cited for firefighters allegedly being underpaid, which resulted in the institution owing the employees $8 million, according to the Public Service Union of Namibia, which represents the employees. They have been fighting for the past 10 years to be placed on the correct salary scale and be paid money owed to them.
PSUN Secretary General Matthew Hakuraya stated that in 2012, the firefighters employed by the city of Windhoek applied for advertised positions of platoon officers C3 and C2 and were appointed. However, they received lower salaries than those advertised.
What makes this whole thing interesting is the fact that the employees of the emergency and the emergency division launched their case in 2012, meaning that both these two examples that I mentioned here were raised after their case. So as a strategic executive was being paid his money, their case was shifted aside, and the more senior people were catered for and they received their money. But this group was there crying. Then another group came from economic development. The economic development came first. Then, again, they were paid their money. Why is it easy to pay strategic executives, but you can't pay the platoon officers and the sub-officers at your emergency department? People who are doing such a critical job.
Mushipu Timotheus, a platoon officer at City of Windhoek firefighters, told News on One that they were recruited in supervisory positions, but their salaries did not match the positions, as the City of Windhoek allegedly made an error in the salary scale. He further explained that the city owes them a combined amount of 8 million Namibian dollars.
What they put on the salary, the fringe benefits, it was not corresponding with our fellow colleagues on the same rank. They will penalize us based now on 2014 job description, while we are appointed in 2012, but then they penalize us based on 2014 job descriptions. So that's where the fight started. We now try to challenge them that how possible you are penalizing us on 2014 job description while you appointed us in 2012. In the same vein, the qualification requirement that they place on the advert compared to the 2014 job description is two different things.
Efforts to get a comment from City of Windhoek proved futile.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
My Father, in Jesus Christ's name, you said in your word, ask and you shall receive.
Before coming to the church, my life was miserable.
My life today is amazing.
Only you can make this change to be possible in their life. So I pray right now, may your power begin to touch them, my God.
Now let's have a look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. The Namibian Correctional Service Commissioner General Raphael Tuafeni Hamunyala said they provided an equal opportunity to the 15,000 shortlisted candidates who met their recruitment requirements. Lamu said the Commissioner General would still be questioned if he had left some out from the shortlist. Jason said the 2.5 kilometers is simply too long for those who did not prepare. Mano said time and resources have been wasted and that at least 2,000 posts would have been understandable. Willem agrees with the Commissioner General's statement. Roxy suggests that all the 15,000 candidates be recruited. Wilbard is of the opinion that the number is simply too big and suggests that they select based on alphabetical order. And that's all the comments we have for you. Up next is sports and the weather. And that's all the comments we have for you. Up next is sports and the weather.
Good vibes are all around. 99 FM's got your feel-good vibes. 99 FM.
Welcome back, and in tonight's sports news, the African Stars Football Club head coach Mervyn Bekera says his team is well prepared ahead of this weekend's match as the country's football league enters its second half, including the second and third divisions.
Sport on One caught up with Coach Bekera during a relaxed training session in Windhoek in preparation for the upcoming match in Otjiwarongo, which many in the football fraternity refer to as a derby.
We're in our preparatory week, so everything is now switched on to our best potential, so that we can prepare to our best of our ability. So you could see we walking. The rain couldn't even stop us. So this is how much we want to put in all the details, so that come Saturday or come the weekend, because there's also a Sunday game, we are well prepared.
Bekera revealed that pressure is part of the club's DNA, which is nothing new to his players, including the staff.
It's one of the key elements that you should be able to handle. And mostly those who can handle it much better are the ones who are always successful. So we have been introduced to this culture already. This is not a culture that comes now in African Stars. If you know you are playing for African Star, or you are part of the technical team of African Star, or even a management of African Stars, you know what is required, and we are well prepared. We are well articulated in that, and we are ready in all the aspects.
Bekera had this to say when asked about playing double headers during the weekend.
Any person in football should take that small opportunity with both hands, so that we can work it for better, because it can't start smoothly, with a start. But if we put in our work as much as possible, that's when things will start develop to where we want to be. So all of us must hold our hands and make sure that we support the people in the office, and in the same vein, one will always also say send a word of gratitude to the normalization committee, the chairman who led a committee to finally the resuming of football in the country. So also one on behalf of the players and the technical team, I think we also want to say thank you to them.
And that's it from the sports front. Up next is the weather forecast. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of News on One. From me, Isai Sipunga, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are